Thank you very much, colleagues. It's very sad and regrettable that we had come to see, visit our colleagues, honorable members of parliament, honorable Job Sikhala, and honorable Sithole. But it's so disheartening to note that just after we had been made to wait for about 3 hours, we were then told that we can now enter. We have to see our colleagues. Upon entering, we were then invited at the office to the office of the officer in charge. The officer in charge of the prison, Mr. Ukurume, indicated to us that it's unfortunate that we are not able to see Honorable Job Sikhala and the other Nyatsime colleagues, our citizen heroes, because the Minister of Justice has instructed that we can't see them. We're surprised because they stood us up for almost like 2-3 hours, and I'm sure you can bear witness and testimony to that. But all of a sudden, they said we have received an instruction in the phone call that you can't see all your colleagues. So we're not able to see them. It is an embarrassment. It is harassment. It is unacceptable that you have this kind of abuse of the law. Apart from just being an ordinary citizen, I'm also a practicing lawyer, and I have every right to see any client if need be. They throw away all those considerations to just make it a humiliating act as it has happened. Very unfortunate. We'll fight this, and we obviously continue to wish our colleagues well. They deserve our solidarity, they deserve our warmth, and we continue to provide that in different ways and mechanisms. I thank you.
President, maybe just a quick question. The MDC leader was allowed to come and visit Sikhala, but you are being denied that right. Any particular reasons you understood that to happen?
Who is the MDC?
Douglas Monza.
Well, I'm not even aware. Well, look, I suppose they know the reasons, but they did not give any explanation as to why we shouldn't be there. In fact, we felt so bad because all the prison officers were literally shaking, from the officer in charge right to the lowest ranking officer. They were so in panic, and we feel sorry for them because you can see that they are under some kind of instruction and pressure. It's unacceptable. It can only be something that is akin to a banana republic. It doesn't happen in a normal jurisdiction where you just visiting a prisoner and to say our prayers. That is why I'd come here. I had not come for anything. They had actually given very bizarre, conditions to say when you come in, don't chant slogans. I don't know why they think that I represent chanting of slogans, but that's where we are.
And just maybe a few days ago, Zimbabwe has been calling for the removal of sanctions on it, but those who have imposed the sanctions say there needs to be respect for human rights, respect for maybe some of the issues include that respect for you to be able to visit prisoners and be able to see them. What is your view in terms of this call where the Zimbabwean government says that it has increased the democratic space in Zimbabwe?
Well, there's evidence. I have not been allowed to campaign. Wherever I've gone into the rural areas, it has been met with impediments, obstructions, illegal roadblocks, attacks by ZANU-PF instigated and also ZANU-PF sponsored individuals. And we've reported to the police, nothing happens. The police seem to actually be in a very difficult position. They are incapacitated, or they are actually not in a position to act because of the political intervention, the political machinations that we see. We've had cases in Chimanimani, cases in Chipinge, cases in Nyanga, cases in Urungwe, cases everywhere where we've gone, Masvingo, we've had problems. So Zimbabwe is a difficult, place. I've listened to people who say, no, you are being soft, and we know what we are dealing with, and these guys are determined to go to the full length to be very oppressive. But we are also equally determined. And I can tell you that the citizens are totally committed, and we're very clear about change which is going to come. We've gone into the countryside, we continue to go. You have seen that the Triple C movement, the citizen movement, is growing, and it has massive support. That's why they are panicking. They know that defeat is imminent. You can't be violent when you have support. You are only violent when you are on your way out. That's the character and conduct of the defeated and the losing. So, yes, we have issues in this country. Human rights abuses are rampant. Look at our colleagues, over 120 days in prison, no trial, pre-trial incarceration. You know, detention without trial is a serious offense. International law doesn't permit that. Job Scala, Stole as MPs, and all the colleagues, the Nyatsime citizen heroes, are not criminals. They have not committed any offense. They are political prisoners. And it's on account of the politics that is toxic in this country. So that tells you what we are facing. Look at the limited journalists have been harassed. Some have been barred from even covering certain events. That tells you the kind of country we are in.
And lastly, do you think ZANU-PF is using sanctions to retain power to in the political discourse of the country?
We have always said the greatest sanction in this country is ZANU-PF. And sanctions, ZANU-PF being the head of the sanctions against the citizens and against the people, must go. Without ZANU-PF going, life is going to be very unbearable for the people of Zimbabwe. And that is what we have emphasized. We are very clear that Zimbabweans want change. And 2023 is a turning point. Zimbabweans are determined, and we are going to provide that alternative. And we are ready.
Thank you very much.
President, please just give us an update on what will happen from you. You've been denied access to Sikhala. It's not the first time. You've been granted access to Sikhala, but now also you've been denied when you come to say what will happen from you.
Well, we are going to look at our next steps legally. We don't want to do things that jeopardize these ordinary prisoners, prison officers, prisoners, and those who are jailed. We just want to do something that's above the law. So, yes, we are going to communicate our next foot forward and our next step. But definitely, we are not going to take this line lying down. We have to do our best to make sure that we give solidarity to our comrades and we give them the support. Last.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the march that happened a few days ago, whereby children were being used and some of them wearing placards. As a lawyer yourself, what's your take on that?
Child abuse, crimes against humanity is unacceptable. That's actually poisoning young people. But it's abuse. And this is being done by a whole government. When a government is at the core and at the forefront of abusing citizens, it's a difficult thing. Now, in other countries, in other jurisdictions, terrorism is done by ordinary, sections of the citizens. In our country, terrorism is actually instigated by government, and terrorizing citizens is instigated by government. The government is the terrorist in Zimbabwe. Thank you. God bless you.